Hi everyone, I'm Trisha Gomez,
I'm Carly Pierce Lysted.
and we are here today talking with Jessica Griffin, the brilliant and passionate founder and creator of the Intellidance Method. Now, the Intellidance Method was originally developed for dance studios, and it's a phenomenal dance and music and movement program that covers four different age groups that range from babies as young as 3 months old. Yes, that's right. I said 3 months old, all the way up to age 5. But there was a need to adapt this program into something that could be used in a school setting or a daycare setting. So Jessica came up with the ECC, the Early Childhood Classroom Teacher Certification, and that is geared more towards students ages 2 to 6 in, like I said, in a classroom or a daycare setting. So we're going to talk with Jessica today about what it's all about and the benefits of the program, because it's absolutely amazing, you guys. You have to hear this. So if you are a teacher or a daycare provider, this is for you. So put your listening ears on, and here we go. So Jessica, I'm going to throw some questions your way. So what are the benefits of the Early Childhood Classroom program?
Oh, so many. I mean, right away, when you're introducing movement and music into your classroom, you're providing the children with an opportunity to explore the expressive arts using the Intellidance method, which is always fun on purpose, meaning that every activity that is within the curriculum has been designed not only, again, to engage the children in the joy of the arts, but also really looking at holistic early childhood development. So each activity has very specific connections to their physical development, their cognitive development, and really importantly, their social emotional development as well.
What topics are covered in the certification course materials?
So in the certification, we want to make sure that you feel very confident, not only delivering the activities, but understanding the methodology behind it. So when you're first moving through the program, you're going to start with the Intellidance Method Foundations course. And this provides you with the foundations you need, if you're a dance teacher or not, to understand the conceptual approach to dance and music education for young children. We're also in that first course going to be looking at classroom management techniques, as well as understanding the developing child and how music and movement support their holistic development. Once you've completed that course, then you're going to move into the ECC program design course. And that's the course that explains to you each section of the lesson plan, each section again having a very specific connection to the child's learning and development. So you're going to learn that progression, as well as teaching strategies that you can utilize throughout the program, as well as in your day-to-day teaching. And then finally, your ability to piece it all together into a cohesive class.
I love that. It's your courses are so detailed, and it doesn't only just explain how to do something. It explains how or why we do something, right? Because there's the whole science and the brain science. And if you know me and you know Jessica and Carly, we're all brain nerds. We all love just like learning and understanding why. And it's quite a bit of information. Jessica, how many hours do you think it would take someone to go through the entire course start to finish?
It does vary by teacher, but it's roughly about 20 hours to complete this program. The nice thing being that it is asynchronous. So that allows you to come and do it at your own time. If you need to spend a little bit more time with a new area of the method, or just if you're like, oh, I don't have a really strong music background, that's okay. That information is there for you. At the same time, it allows you the flexibility to take this course alongside the other work and family obligations that you might have.
So great. What all is included with the certification fee? What all does someone get once they finish that course?
Absolutely. So this is what I love so much about this program. Having been an early childhood classroom teacher myself, working with the school boards and knowing how busy your lives are, I wanted to make sure, especially the first time you're starting to teach this programming, you feel really supported. So right away, you receive a curriculum that spans the entire school year, that's sort of broken up into fall, winter, and spring curriculums. That works alongside a lot of the seasonal activities you'll be doing with your young students anyways. And those lesson plans are highly scripted. So even if you are like, I just don't have enough time to plan this going into the school year, we've done that planning for you. There's also activity guides and lesson plan templates. So for those of you that are really creative or need to maybe include some of your own curriculum within the Intellidance programming you're teaching your children, we provide you with the ability to mix and match. Now, lesson plans are one thing, and I know being a teacher myself, we love all the other visuals that go alongside of that. So included in your curriculum, you'll have a series of posters to use in your classroom. These are both to help teach the different dance and music concepts that we utilize throughout the curriculum. There's also, as I know so many of you are teaching early literacy skills, we have posters of a lot of the songs and rhymes that are included in the curriculum with all of the words there for the children. So really working to support their emerging literacy skills. And then also for the little ones themselves, we've included a variety of coloring sheets and activity sheets. And these are a wonderful way to expand the children's learning. You can utilize them as an assessment tool or as a fun take home, as a way of explaining to the parents and getting the kids to talk to their caregivers about what they're learning in class, and just providing another modality for some of our little ones to continue to express and explore their learning.
That I think you have thought about everything. I love that. I love that. I love the way your brain works, and it's going to benefit everybody who goes through this program. But here's a question, and I know I get this a lot with some of my other programs I work with. Teachers are like, "Well, we have so much to do already. How can I fit something else in there, right?" So, what are some of the ways that teachers can take either the entire Intellidance program and put it into, their curriculum, or maybe just in bits and pieces? How would maybe that look to a teacher?
Absolutely. So the curriculum has been designed with flexibility in mind, because while I love to share my methodology and curriculum with teachers, I understand you're all unique and you need that flexibility to deliver this programming in a way that's meaningful to you and meaningful to your students. So the complete lesson plans have been designed to allow you to teach a full 30 to 45-minute class once or twice a week to your students. If you already have a program that's carved out that time and that space, you'll be able to just implement that way. That being said, there's a wonderful way that you can include a lot of the activities in the flow of your normal class design. For example, I know a lot of our teachers are going to be starting every day with some kind of welcome song or routine with their classes. Our brain dance and brain play activities are a wonderful way to expand on that, really focusing again on that brain body integration. So that's a wonderful thing that you can bring to your circle time. Throughout the class, you may have opportunities throughout your day where you're going to bring the kids back to your circle center. Maybe you're doing story time, working on your calendar examples as the seasons go by. You can include a lot of the rhymes and songs and simple rhythm activities in that as well. If you have gym time during your regular schedule, you can pull a lot of the creative movement activities, the circle dances, the obstacle courses that are in that curriculum, and fit them right within your regular gym or creative movement time. So the program is really designed to be flexible, to either be taught, as I said, an individual class, or you can kind of weave it through the schedule and routine you've already established with your students.
Um, this is a question that I know a lot of teachers may have some concerns over with all of these activities. Does the program, the lesson plans, the activities, do they satisfy any core curriculum standards?
Absolutely. So in developing the Intellidance Method, particularly the ECC program, I wanted to look at what kind of international standards were common in early childhood classrooms. So if you're in the United States and you take a look at your national standards for arts, both dance and music, you're going to find right away the Intellidance curriculum fits in there nicely. You're going to be meeting a lot of those expressing, creating, responding skills. The other thing is, if you take a look at what you're teaching in terms of literacy and numeracy, there's so many strong connections between the Intellidance programming and those basic early childhood outcomes. The same thing for Canadians. I'm in Edmonton, Alberta, and this curriculum absolutely fits within our kindergarten, grade 1, grade 2, even curriculum for dance, music, literacy, you name it, it's there. Having also done some work with international teachers. I worked a couple of years ago with a preschool in Singapore. We are meeting those curriculums. So that's the really great thing about a research and a developmentally based curriculum is we've made sure that it's going to support the needs of both the children and the teachers and the overarching bodies that take a look at the pedagogy and the educational outcomes that our children need.
That's amazing. Like really, it, woo, you are awesome, girl. You are awesome. And I think you pretty much answered my next question. I was going to ask, is this a program that would work in any country from anywhere, anyone, anywhere? Would they be able to take this and implement it into their curriculum?
Yeah, absolutely. And one really exciting way that a lot of our international teachers are utilizing the Intellidance method and programming is to support actually teaching English as a second language. So if you're thinking to yourself, oh, in our country, English isn't our primary language, but that's a skill that we look at teaching in our classroom. The Intellidance method, again, really supports that. So we have teachers, particularly in Asia, utilizing our programming to support that. And because it is a holistic experience, it's actually one of the most effective ways to introduce children to a second language. They are experiencing that language in their body. They're hearing it through music and through sounds. So it becomes a very organic and natural way for young children to pick up on a second language. Now, that being said, if you're not teaching in English, the nice thing about all of these activities is they are working within opposites. So you're going to find it's quite easy to translate those activities to support your children's primary language needs.
That's so cool. Jessica, I never thought about using the program to teach language as a second language, or to teach English as a second language. That's so fascinating. Common question I'm sure you get, if you are both a school teacher and you teach dance at a studio, do you recommend getting certified in only the early childhood classroom or just the early years, or do you recommend getting certified in both?
Well, I would say if you're teaching in both and your budget is limited, my suggestion would be if you're also teaching dance at a studio, go for the early years certification program. That's going to provide you with a curriculum that's going to work both within your dance studio, because our early years program, particularly once we get to about age 3, is working a little bit more specifically on some of those foundational dance skills that are going to move into your creative ballet programs, your jazz, your tap, all of that. That being said, if sky's the limit and you have a bunch of professional funds, the ECC program does include some areas that are very specific to the classroom. And we're working a little bit more with music and rhythm there, because one of our overarching goals with that program is really to support those emerging literacy and language skills.
Awesome. Yeah, I love it. I love that. Thank you so much for bringing this program to the school setting. I know, for me, I've done a lot of research on what happens in the brain when we actually dance, and the research shows that whenever you combine movement and sound and rhythm together, 3 different parts of your brain light up and start talking to each other that normally they normally don't speak to each other in those ways, and you start creating new neural connections. And we all know that what fires together wires together. And I've personally seen students, once they start dance class, their skills increase exponentially because their brain is working in different ways that just allows them to bring on all these new skills. So this program is so up my alley because it does all of those things. For such young kids, when it's so important to have those neural connections happening. So again, thank you. Is there anything else you want anyone to know about the Intellidance program?
I think you kind of said it right there, Trisha. I think it's really important that we understand that as educators, we need to be providing a multisensory learning environment that supports all children's learning. And so one of the really amazing outcomes of including the Intellidance method in your classroom is you might start reaching some of the kids who don't necessarily learn in maybe more of a traditional seated pen and pencil type way. We're bringing their whole body to life. And so really in supporting that multiple intelligences theory, the idea that no child is left behind, we're creating an environment that supports all young learners and really helps you as a teacher start to identify little nuances about your students' personalities, about their strengths, about their unique learning style. We wanted to make sure this was a program that was really inclusive of all children and supports the neurodiversity and the learning diversity that we see in young kids.
So important, so important. So 100% kudos. I mean, I think every teacher needs this in their class. Maybe I'm a little biased, but I do think that this is something that everyone should do. So Jessica, thank you so much for joining us today to talk about the ECC program. If you are interested and you're watching out there, either in the studio or the classroom version. So keep in mind, the studio version would be considered the early years, which consists of 4 different age programs, babies, tykes, tots, and kids. And then the ECC, which is the early childhood classroom teacher certification, is geared more towards school teachers and daycare providers. So if you are interested in learning even more about any of these programs, jump on over to intellidancemethod.com. That is spelled INTELLIDANCEMETHOD.com. So thank you all. I hope you enjoyed our little session with Jessica, and we hope to welcome you into our Intellidance family soon. Thanks, everyone.